What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from The Real Fan Review, coming out of Long Island, New York. With me today, we got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
We got my brother, your brother, B.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
There we go. You know, Al, really quick, because I just saw Spider-Man Far From Home, or no, Homecoming.
Okay.
It's not the man in the chair. It's the guy in the chair. Or the guy.
Yeah, I think
something weird, right?
Somebody in the chair.
You're our man in the chair.
Yeah, the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair. But ladies and gentlemen, just want to thank you guys for commenting and viewing the Real Fan Review Awards for our first episode of 2023. Got a lot of views and some comments in there, so really appreciate you guys out there, and we wrote back to you as much as we could.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight's episode, man, we're going to deal with the first movie we watched in 2023, which is M3GAN. But before we talk about that review for M3GAN, we're going to get into the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer that just got released last night. I had to watch a horrific college football game to get to watch my trailer. What a waste of time. But
they made you watch the game, though.
Yeah, it did make me watch the game and made me stay watching the game because I was like, God damn it. Usually they play the trailer like right in the first quarter or at halftime. Nope, this one was in between third quarter into the fourth quarter. So I was like, yeah, man. But listen, that trailer was absolutely amazing. So let's get the guys' thoughts on this. Al, I know you got a chance to watch that trailer. It was somber. It was crazy. It wasn't jokey joke. It was very serious, man. What was your thoughts on the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer there?
It makes me wonder, I've had some, you've heard rumors that, maybe Scott Lang, Ant-Man doesn't make this one. And it really gave that vibe. I like the shot of MODOK.
Which shot of MODOK? There's a couple.
There's a couple. I like the last one where they show him, I guess, like with the armor mask. Not the first two where you see the human face. I like where.
Dude, that was so weird.
The Darren Cross face, though.
Oh my God.
Was MODOK always? I thought he was like a big head. This one looked like it was a face projected on a screen. It didn't look like a big head with a small body.
I'm guessing that's their interpretation of how to make MODOK realistic.
If that's Darren Cross, the yellow jacket, then how does he get him into
the first movie?
Yeah. So how do they get him into that?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's probably Kang probably got him when he came in and so forth. So, but overall, it's a very, like you said, it's a darker Ant-Man than what we're used to. There wasn't a lot of jokes, even from Ant-Man. There wasn't a lot of one-liners. And even the one-liners were serious, where he's, it looks like he's working with, I want to see what they're looking for and what turns, Kang, because, he starts off the trailer talking about, let's work together. And then by the end of the trailer, he's like, oh, you don't want her to see this. So I'm like, damn, that's a complete 180. And it looks like it's going to be a dark Ant-Man, which is good to see because it gives us a range from what's his name, Paul Rudd. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this whole what's the MacGuffin of this movie going to be? What does he need Lang to steal?
Right.
And why does it affect the change later in the movie?
Yeah, and with the way that this movie's looking, it was like the guy who's doing the directing of this movie. I think it's Peyton Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Peyton Reed still, and he said that he hated always being after those big movies.
Cleanser.
The palate cleanser. He said, "I'm not cleansing any palates this time.
I want an Avengers. I want an Avengers level movie."
Yeah, man. And watching the trailer, you can kind of see that this is kind of going for broke on this one, man. So, what was your thoughts looking at the trailer right from the jump?
Dude, I will say that this trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. Oof. Oh, what? Oh my God. I don't know, just that one thing from the director alone about I don't want to be a palate cleanser. I want this Ant-Man to be an Avengers level movie. And that trailer alone tells me yo, we're not fucking around this movie. And super refreshing to see that
Mm-hmm.
like I felt like what this is going to be, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, this feels like the Winter Soldier for me. Where
Oh,
where
those
you
are
have
big words.
right? Like you
That's
had
big
the
words.
first Avenger, which was a light-hearted movie. It was a good
Mm-hmm.
origin for Captain America. And then they gave us the Winter Soldier, and you're like, shut the fuck up. What? You know? And I have this feeling that like because of who Ant-Man is as a character and Paul Rudd and comedy, that they've done that with the first two Ant-Man movies. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this is the movie they want to be their Winter Soldier.
Wow. I'm hoping so, man. I mean, listen, when you say Winter Soldier, that's top five
That's
for some
top.
people. That's top two for me.
That's
top two.
literally top two for me.
So it's like, that's the top five for the MCU people. So if it's as good as those movies, hallelujah, welcome back MCU. But for me, I love the trailer. I love the darkness of it because it plays off of the silliness of the first trailer. I know a lot of people saying, oh, this is not Ant-Man. Ant-Man's supposed to be funny. Did you not see the first trailer where they called him Spider-Man? Thank you, Spider-Man. So, you got your funny in there, and there's no doubt in my mind there's going to be comedy elements in this movie. But this was what is this about? What is going on? And I love that it's touching on the heartstrings again. Missed opportunities, missed time, right? So it looks like Scott, I got touched by just by watching the trailer. His phone ringing is still the picture of his daughter as a 5-year-old. Or even or 7 or 8 years old. Like it's still the baby version of his daughter. It's not the not the adult girl, but the possibly like teenager that he's now seeing. He missed years. Well, it's 5 years he missed.
Yeah, she's like 18.
Or was it more for him?
It was 5 years, but he was
5.
incarcerated, and so there's a lot of time missed.
There's definitely a lot of time missed. So he's pulling on Ant-Man's heartstrings there. Then there's the other aspect, like Al had just mentioned, is just like him saying, like, you don't want your daughter to see this. And I'm like, oh, buddy, are we going for line of the year already? Are we going for that made it personal?
Dude, I feel like this whole movie is going to be Kang giving those one-liners. Like, did I kill you? Are you an Avenger? Did I kill you? Like that line alone. Right? I'm like, oh, fuck. I can't wait to hear it.
There's a bunch of lines in there. Even like, if you listen to it, you hear, Paul Rudd saying, Cassie, I'm so sorry. Like he's like letting her down or giving up or God knows what's really happening. And you guys already mentioned that he's basically saying we just both got to lose.
Yeah.
That's tough also. And there's so many different elements in there. But I wanted to get your guys' take on this also because I mean, granted, there was rumors of MODOK being in this thing and also, but it's once again one of these things where it's like there better be other things in this movie to surprise us because that would have been like an oh shit moment in the theaters. Al, how do you feel about seeing MODOK, even though they kind of like it's been rumored already for a long time, but to physically see MODOK on the screen?
Well, honestly, that was the one thing that worried me about the trailer was I hope we didn't just see the whole movie.
Oh, tell me about it.
Because, okay, we get the overall premise, we are seeing what we thought was going to be the surprise. Because like you said, we've heard MODOK was in it.
Right.
But I was hoping that was one of the things I hope they didn't show us until the movie. And then here you are having him in multiple scenes of the trailer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope this isn't the whole movie. You just gave us, okay, that he's helping Kang. Then you show us that there's a turn and now Kang is turning on him and so forth. So I hope this wasn't the whole movie,
Right.
and it's just like whatever little fluff fills in those little gaps.
Right.
So I'm hoping there's another big surprise, maybe a couple of cameos here or there.
Right.
But it looks like this is a good start, or I'm hoping that this is going to be a good start to what's coming after this. Because if you're setting up Kang as the big bad for the next 2 phases, then this is looking to be a good introduction and it's got to be a big one to show us like why is he going to be this big of a threat?
Yeah.
And obviously he doesn't get resolved by the end of this movie. So why is he such a threat? And what is it about him that makes him so dangerous?
Absolutely.
So that's the part of this movie that I'm looking to see how they explain and how they introduce him as the villain.
Gotcha. And how about for you, B? What's the thoughts on seeing MODOK on the screen already, or was it just because we've already heard that he's in the movie, might as well just show him
I
now?
think because the concept art has already been out long enough.
Gotcha.
It's been out longer than before we even had a trailer for this movie. So I've already seen this exact design. I think it was very cool to show that it was Darren Cross, our Yellow Jacket. But I have a feeling with the length of time for this movie, I think we're going to be seeing some more stuff. I'm not calling X-Men. I'm not calling Fantastic Four.
Please don't.
But I feel like we're going to see something cool in this movie. Even my whole thinking is this isn't going to be the one Kang. I think this is one of many Kang. I think there is going to be a resolution for this one, and then it's going to lead to another one. I feel like there's a Kang, there's a chain of Kangs, and this
you
one
think
it was
the tribunal
just.
comes into it.
I think it's just another, because in Loki it was the whole like bunch of Kangs. There was a whole bunch of versions that once this Earth 616 had an opening, they were gonna come to this one. So I think he's just the first of many, and he's gonna show off how bad they can be.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and with that, let's get into our thoughts of what could be, right? This is where we kind of theorize from what we saw in this trailer, things that we think that may happen in this movie or the outcome of this movie or in the movie itself. And I'll lead off with my thoughts. There's a part of the trailer where
Don't say
Ant-Man
Mr. Fantastic, I'll hate you.
The Fantastic Four are in the movie. They're in the quantum realm. No, I'm not going to do Fantastic Four. I give up with Marvel and the Fantastic Four. They're not going to show shit on Fantastic Four. But what I do think is going to happen is kind of something that Brandon had just kind of hinted at, is we all know that the Kang Dynasty is the end result of this. So I think what's going to happen, and it goes again from this trailer, you see there's a part where Ant-Man sees another version of himself or another variant of himself is right next to him. And then also in the trailer, you see there's a bunch of Ant-Man all over this trailer, where there's Ant-Man that's holding him down. There's Ant-Man, there's a big giant Ant-Man that goes into wires or into like little strings. I think this movie is the reason why Kang goes all over the place, and we're going to have the Kang Dynasty. So I think from this movie, we're going to get Immortus. We're going to get, He Who Remains one more time, and we're going to get the Kang the Conqueror, and we're going to get a bunch of different Kangs throughout the timeline. Maybe even Ironclad. Is it Ironclad, Brandon?
Yeah, and I feel
the
like
Kang,
I feel like we're also going to get the Beyonder as a Kang.
Wow. Deep. But I do think this is where the Kangs are going to get out of the quantum realm, and they're going to fill the MCU. And the next few movies, or the movies that are coming after a certain month, they're going to be Kang variants that we're going to be dealing with in the background. So that's my thoughts. I mean, listen, I could be wrong, but I think there's a bunch of Kangs, because the Kang Dynasty movie cannot just be one fucking Kang. Are you kidding me? There's got to be a bunch of Kangs that we're dealing with. So I think that's what happens in this movie. Al, give me a theory or thought that you have that may or may not happen in this movie. X-Men.
Well, if you stop the trailer at 6 minutes and 13 seconds, there's a flame streak in the back that could be Johnny Storm. Now,
there you go.
No, honestly, I really don't know much about Kang. Right. So there's not much for me to anticipate other than from this Kang the Conqueror version that we seem to be getting.
Right.
What are his powers? Again, why is he such a threat? Like, I have nothing to go into this with. Right. So, like, whereas other people may go in and say, oh, they didn't represent him well, or, oh, this wasn't the right version to bring in to start it off.
Right.
I'm not going in with any of that. I'm going in raw, like, who is he? What's his agenda? So as long as they can tell that to us and explain that to us well, which the Marvel, MCU has always done so far.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a great movie, especially when you have Jonathan Majors as the villain. And from the trailer.
Can we just give him his kudos already for just fucking killing it in everything that he does?
Yeah, because
Jonathan Majors.
From what I understood, Kang was a regular guy. So when you have the end of the trailer and he's shooting out blasters from his hands, I'm like, where did he get that power? Is that the suit? Is that him? Like, what's going on? So, like, I'm just looking to go in with a lot of questions, and hopefully I get a lot of answers.
Yeah, same. And I think that's one of the benefits of me too, not knowing anything about Kang. I didn't read the comic books about Kang, so I always knew about Thanos. I never knew. I've always seen Kang the Conqueror in cartoons, comic books, but what he does and what he stands for, not a clue. B, what about you, man? What you expecting from this movie, or what kind of thing you think is going to surprise us in this movie?
You know, I think we've talked about this a lot, especially Al. I just have a feeling that these rings as a beacon from Shang-Chi are going to come into play, just because in this trailer alone, there were several shots of these ring-shaped things floating around, and if you watch them, they always stop at 4. You know, like they always stop at the 4th one. I'm like, show me a 5th. Like, let me just see another one. You know, like they always keep floating around, and then like one is below. You never really see it, but they keep showing them. And so I feel like maybe this is the beacon. Maybe this has some connection to Shang-Chi. Maybe this is what starts tying things together.
Gotcha. The MacGuffin that Al's looking for.
Yeah, because they said it was nothing in space. You know, like no one has identified this. It doesn't go anywhere up there. So maybe it goes in there. That's what she said.
Damn, it's an old joke, but I love it. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Listen, so if you guys have not got a chance to watch the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, by the way, really quickly, for something called Ant-Man and the Wasp, do you guys have any memory of the Wasp in the trailer?
Other than that haircut, that's something.
Jesus.
Yeah, she stepped out of car. That's all I know.
That's it. She was his date at the premiere of whatever movie they were watching. She didn't talk or speak in one thing. It's like, why are we calling Ant-Man the Wasp? It's just Ant-Man 3. But anyway, the Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania trailer, I think Al's playing it right below us while we're speaking, or was playing it while we were speaking. If not, go right to Marvel on YouTube and go check out the trailer. It's amazing. Jonathan Majors, man, that's a bad man. That's a bad man. All right. So listen, like we told you guys last week, we were going to come back this week and talk to you guys about the first movie we were trying to see this year, which was M3GAN.
M3GAN.
M3GAN, right? M3GAN, amazing. No, I'm sure everybody's looking it up as M3GAN, but it is, what did the M stand for? Model 3
generative Android
N.
Now.
Yeah, so M3GAN or M3GAN was a great movie we got a chance to watch. I don't know, well, great, but it was really good. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. We're going to do non-spoiler first really quickly, but we're just going to get right into the spoilers. So for the people who have not watched it, don't worry about it right now. We'll tell you when to stop listening to us or to pause us, but let's get a quick thought, man. Brandon, what's your thoughts on M3GAN, man? How'd you feel about watching that movie?
I will use the same quote I use at the end of the movie. You know, Chucky walked so M3GAN can run. You know, like it was very fun. I mean, creepy at some points. She did a lot of creepy things. Never really scary. But like it was a good time. Like I really enjoyed watching this movie. I will say, as I do enjoy Allison Williams, but I didn't really enjoy her in this movie as the lead actress. But I really enjoyed M3GAN. You know, whoever played her as like the life model for her, they killed it, because the faces and everything, the dancing, as creepy as that was, like it was on point. It was a fun time. And I heard that they've already greenlit a sequel because they made more money this weekend than they thought they could. I'm sure I'm actually going to be willing to see that one too.
I am titanium.
Dude, there were so many little plays on those songs. I was like, wow.
Brandon's like, do you get it? I'm like, what? She's singing titanium. He's like, she's made out of titanium. I was like, this movie just went to another level.
Shoot her down and blow her up, but she's titanium.
Fucking incredible. Incredible. Yeah, I'll talk to you, man. What'd you think of M3GAN, man? Watching M3GAN over here.
I watching it, I had a great time. Like I was expecting something that I would enjoy because it was, Blumhouse was behind it, and I think
Right,
I've liked almost everything that they've put out so far. Um, but I was not expecting to enjoy it that much. Like I was
right.
not expecting to laugh as much as we did, get sucked into everything, enjoy the movie as much as we did. Like, just how many times, like you kept saying side eye,
She's a.
as much as sometimes they can do something too much and you're like, all right, enough already. Like every time she did it, I died because
It
it
was
was
one
like,
that really made us laugh. We'll talk about in the spoilers, but
yeah, because I think we both turned to each other at the same time and said the same thing. Like, yeah, I heard her. She didn't say it, but I heard her say it.
Fucking heard it.
But yeah, no, like they did a great job, and for such little money that went into making this movie,
yeah.
they really, had put out a good movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just 10 million is all that
10
it
to 12
was
million, I
supposed.
think they said they
They were
spent.
like, we made more money than we thought we were.
Yeah, yeah. I
And think
mean,
this is just the first weekend.
It's
yeah,
just the first
and
weekend.
I would
Wait
have
till
liked
word of
for them to
mouth.
have kept it R, but I don't think they
Yeah.
would have done as well if as they did if they kept it R. So it was probably a
Mm-hmm.
smart move to make it PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these scenes I think would have been better had they kept the R version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, and to the people who have not seen M3GAN, I'm going to tell you now, especially if you guys are not horror fans, I really don't think you have a lot to worry about. There are scary moments, not scenes, more moments, and there's some things that happen. And it's really towards the end of the movie, not really in the beginning or the middle, not so much. It gets creepy in the middle, but it's not even to describe it as creepy is like a little much. Also,
It's the
I
same
think for
Chucky
people,
creepiness.
no, I think Chucky's worse. I
Really?
think Chucky was scarier
All right,
than this.
like Chucky 5 and on, like that.
Yeah.
It's not scary
I got
anymore.
you. But the first original Chuckies were a little bit
Oh,
more gruesome.
that's
Like
just
there was really
terrifying.
not a lot of blood or anything like that in this movie either. It
No.
was just like weird situations and stuff like that. But to be honest with you guys, again, it's funny because my wife never believes me when I say it's a thriller. She's like, it's a horror movie then. It's like it is a thriller kind of thing where it really makes you think, honestly, because there's a message in the movie pretty much about electronics and children and
Yeah.
also how we parent. I got the message. Trust me. Trust me, I got the message. So
I paid to get the message.
yeah. So, and we'll delve deeper into that. But at the same time, it was a message meant, and then they ran with the message. And I was like, oh, this shit is crazy. Right. Like, so the movie to me, again, better than my expectations. I had a great time watching the movie with the fellas. We were rolling in there with a couple of scenes. So to me, guys, if you have not seen M3GAN, please go check it out. It's going to be worth your time. Don't expect this spectacular movie. And it's a little, I don't want to say it's a slow buildup because that buildup is what made the movie better because you got to be involved with the characters. But it is a little, I guess, quote unquote, slow in the beginning. It's to build up the story. And then I think there's at least a half hour where M3GAN's not in the movie in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we get there and then when we go, it goes. So to anyone who has not watched the movie, please go give it a check out. Especially January is not that great with movies. And, usually the movies that come out are not really rated that highly. This one's actually a surprise. So go check it out. I think it's a you should see in the theaters. I'm not saying it's a must see or you need to see, but you should see it in the theaters because it's really good. Al,
Yeah.
your rating for it?
Yeah, it's I won't say must see, but you should see it. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
should see it. And in the theater, only because so much of the movie is an experience in
Right.
terms that should be shared. So, because unless you're watching it at home with a couple of people, just watching, I think a lot of those scenes were even funnier because you could share the humor with everybody else that was there. Like,
Oh yeah, we definitely heard the people around us laughing.
yeah, okay, the whole theater was laughing on quite a few of those scenes. So, yeah, just for the experience, definitely watching in the theater.
How about you, B?
I would say you should see it. I think if you liked Barbarian, you would like this more.
All right, so now listen, I try to give you guys fair warning. We told you guys, we're going to let you guys know when we're going to go into a spoiler section where we're going to I'm going to delve deep, but we're going to talk about the stuff that we really like, the things that we didn't like, and talk about scenes and things that happen in the movie now. So spoiler warning for everybody who has not watched it. We're going to go right into spoilers now. Brandon, give me your true thoughts on the movie. Anything you want to talk about?
I thought it was great. I thought Allison Williams was a little dry,
Okay.
and
But I think that was part of her character.
I
She was
think
supposed to be a
maybe
weird character that didn't really like people.
Yeah, she was a little dry for me. But I feel like M3GAN, like, dude, every scene was like a show you like, yo, if a breeze touched this girl, M3GAN's like, I'm gonna kill the breeze. I'm gonna make sure it never wins again in this town. Like, dude, when that boy Brandon, when she ripped his ear off and the ear was still ripping, and then she chased him on all fours. As creepy and hilarious at the same time as that was,
Yeah.
But I thought this movie, I just really enjoyed it because it was funny and it was creepy and like it just kind of hit just every mark, as you're watching it. Even like that last scene in the toy company alone just went from 0 to 100 out of nowhere, and she was just going. She's just, I'm gonna go fucking kill everybody for no fucking reason. And then she starts doing the dance, and the guys watch her like, I think I should run. And she still caught him in the elevator.
Yeah,
and she was
Ronnie
dancing
Chang,
down the hallway.
Oh my god! Al, how about you, man? What was the show stealer for you in this movie?
How well M3GAN came off. I mean, you could tell, obviously there was a girl in there, but whoever was doing the role of M3GAN found a good balance between looking robotic, but still looking natural at the same time. So you didn't always say, oh, there's definitely a girl, an actual person in there.
Right.
And just how well they played out the character in terms of, like you said, they were hitting us over the head with stop using technology to take care of your kids for you. Like,
like
screen time, people.
Okay,
the fucking pet that poops.
Yeah, from the first scene of the movie to the end, the whole thing is, watch your own kids, to take care of your kids yourself and so forth. So, but the way they played out, the explanation as to why she becomes the way she is, I thought was good.
It made sense.
Her directive, because she even gives her the directive: you are to take care and protect her
emotionally,
physically. Yeah, like she gives her guidelines. So when you have a computer program and you say these are your guidelines, okay, anything I am to protect her emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
And multiple times she looked like she was emotionally and physically in danger.
Right.
So the robot just knows, that's one of the main fears of AI is like, shit, it may take us out, seeing us as a threat.
Yeah.
So it made sense for the premise of the movie.
Right.
Where it lost me is actually the human characters. I didn't see anything that justified the aunt going from, oh, that's my niece, because she didn't give a shit about the niece in the beginning, to the point where I think when everything was done, she was going to look to put her somewhere, I think. So I didn't see the transition from not truly caring about her niece
to loving and caring aunt.
Yeah, to willing to give her life for her. Like, I didn't see that transition. I didn't see that bond grow. That was the only part where they lost me on how did that happen? But surprisingly, in regards to M3GAN, I thought they did a real good job in supporting that aspect of the story.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I gotta say, I loved M3GAN as the character. Again, there was so much side eye in this movie. Every time it happened, it was just like just constantly looking at people sideways throughout the entire movie, especially the aunt in the movie. There, it's just so many scenes of that, And then again, like I was saying, the story is based off of basically like your kids are on screen time or they're developing codependencies with these devices and with these things, and parents are not parenting their kids. They're giving them the phone or the iPad and let them be for whatever time they need. I get that, because even I'm guilty of this shit too, But I always feel like, damn it, I need a break too. I come home from work, I want to give some time, and then I do homework with the kids, but then there's time like, what about me time? So, but so that the movie made me think a lot about my children and the way that I give them devices and stuff like that. So it was definitely cool. And again, the horror elements of the movie was actually pretty funny. Like Brandon had mentioned, when she's chasing these guys in the toy company for their their grand presentation of M3GAN, was hilarious. Why is she dancing? There was no reason for her to start dancing. I thought there was something like he was going to tell her a command or something. No, she just started like do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do.
And then did a flip.
Yeah. Then she started chasing him with the freaking thing to the thing that cuts paper. It looked like a machete. Just a lot of great scenes, man. Let's get in again. Just overall good, because it wasn't like tasteless violence and like. There's a lot of horror movies that go for shock factor with what the kills are. This movie didn't do that, and I appreciated that. So I liked the movie for what it was. And again, it's like a thriller for me kind of thing.
Yeah.
The negatives. The one negative I have for the movie, because the movie was going to be good, it just feels like it was just a good movie that was pretty much. And I don't think there's much that could have made it great. But the one thing I hate, and it's because I'm a movie fan, and I hate that I know these things in movies, but I just think that it could have been done better. As soon as they introduced Bruce in the beginning of the movie,
just gonna say it.
I was like, oh, well, I guess he's gonna play a factor in the movie.
And this is Bruce, our family robot, my first ever creation.
Yeah.
Here's how he works.
Yeah, he also has fucking fists. And it works like this. So as soon as I saw Bruce and how Bruce works, I'm like, Bruce is going to end up fucking winning a fight later on. Yeah. So I hate that it was either that predictable, one, or two, that so I don't know who to be mad at, them or me, for watching so many goddamn movies to be like foreshadow. Like,
That was a long foreshadowing scene, so I think it was more on them.
Yeah, man. But again, the whole movie, besides that, I think was a really good movie, because even the story of the daughter of the girl, and how she came onto the aunt was touching. And then knowing that the aunt was really just doing her best, and it really was, she wasn't doing her best, doing what she could to make sure that she was somewhat helping out, and then she took advantage of it. Was a little crazy, but I saw what was happening and it made sense for the movie. So I can't be like, oh, this movie just doesn't make sense, it's not realistic. No, I could see like shitty people who don't really know how to take care of kids. I mean, like, she didn't have a boyfriend or anything, so she's not great with other humans, so it's like she even had a horrible relationship with her neighbor. Jesus Christ. So I can't really ask much more for this movie. It was a nice surprise, man. Al, any negatives for you?
Basically was, like I said, like the lack of showing how the transition went from the system. Like, put it to me, one example was when she was trying to, I guess, impress the therapist or the social worker.
So either psychologist or therapist. Yeah.
And she's like trying to play with the daughter, and the niece, and she brings out she's like, well, there's no toys here. And the niece busts her by saying, no, those aren't toys, those are collectibles. Oh. And she has to pull one of them out that looked like a ball.
Yeah.
So the girl she's trying to play with it the way it's meant to, and the social worker tells her, well, no, roll it to her. She goes, no, that's not how you play with this toy.
She couldn't help herself, dude. Like, she could not help herself. It was meant for so much more than just rolling.
Yeah. She goes, okay, it could do so much more than that, but yeah, let's roll it.
Yeah, you can see the therapist like, negative. Is there any doubt that child was going to be taken away from her by the end of this movie?
Yeah, that shit would have been gone. Yeah, she would have gone. She was already scheduling the pickup date.
Yeah, absolutely. She did not deserve to have that child in her house, man.
No,
I thought she was going to die, actually. I thought she was going to be one of the people that gets it.
Yeah. Crazy, man. B, how about for you, man? Any negatives besides the Bruce thing?
I would say there was just a lot of predictability. Like, the second you saw the dog hole, and she was like, I'm pissed at your dog. I'm like, oh, the dog's going to die. I was like, the dog's going to die. The neighbor's going to die. I said, all right, let's go down the list of who's going to die. Yeah. Like, there was just a lot of predictability. God. But Bruce was the biggest one, just because it was a long scene talking about Bruce. And I'm like, how does this come back at the end? Like, how do we use Bruce?
Yeah. But I also got to say, there was a lot of touching scenes, man. And like, even with M3GAN herself, the robot android there's a scene where I guess M3GAN had a really, I forgot what happened the day before. I can't think of it at the moment. But she pushed through to go to this, like, what was it? The first showing that they had of M3GAN to the investors.
Yeah.
Right. It was the 6 investors came to go see, and they opened up the curtains. Ronnie Chang's like, "We're about to change your fucking life."
Yeah, I loved his character.
Yo, he's amazing. He's hilarious, man. I love him in Shang-Chi and even his comedy specials. He's hilarious. But they open the curtains, and sure enough, the girl starts to cry, and she says she misses her parents. And M3GAN proceeds to ask her, "Give me a memory." And then M3GAN recorded the memory and replayed the memory. And I thought that was so sweet. And so again, there was a lot of things where it made sense. Like, this robot was designed to protect her and to do all this stuff. There's some positives to that, man. But what I want to ask you fellas, man, if there was an android like this, not to this extent where it was this crazy, would you guys want a doll or something that talked back to your kids, or Brandon, for your future children? Because the more I think about it, like, I can see my kids wanting something like that, like a doll that responds back or talks to them. And it's like, after seeing this movie, I'm like, fuck no. Like,
no.
Like, I know they're probably going to want this thing because it's probably going to be the coolest shit ever. It's probably better than, what was the first toy that they actually created? The Furbies?
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
That if you shook them too much, they shit.
If you virtually feed them, they shit.
Oh my God. So I gotta ask, B, your future self, man, are you okay? Because you gotta figure that we're getting close to this technology where AI is gonna start taking place into our toys if they're not already.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, I don't know, I saw it the same way as the
therapist.
The therapist saw it. You know, like, the second I started seeing the doll interact with her, I'm like, oh, this doll is taken on as a caretaker for this girl because she's the only thing that's giving feelings and giving it back, reciprocating it. I said, now there's an attachment. I said, so that's going to be a problem. And that's one of the hard things for me as like an educator is, even till this day, like, there's no robots, but teachers, we get a lot of flack if we are too personal with your kids. You know, like, if we're giving your kids love in a way you don't want us to, you know, so like, it's the same thing. If I put a doll in my house that's now giving my kid more love than I can, in a sense, it's gonna be a problem for me. So like, I'm like, a heck no, like, especially when it starts killing shit, you know.
Ow. But there was something in the movie that kind of like hit me in the head, was the statistics that 78% of parenting is repeating the same commands or the same objectives every single day. Brother, that's a lot of percentage.
But I could relate to that because it is.
Yeah.
It's right? Like, go eat your food, eat.
Wash your hands.
Down. Stop playing with
wash
that.
your hands.
Turn off the light. Yeah. You know, like, kind of like what they had with M3GAN.
Put the
like,
cup on the coaster.
Yeah. I can't wait for that scene to come up. Yeah. But like, how many times did M3GAN tell her, like, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands? Like, you know, I can understand
there was
that.
one scene where she was like, M3GAN,
oh,
please,
already wash your hands already. But to your earlier question would be like, I can see this like for maybe like a parent with one child. You know, because there's going to be those moments where no matter how well you parent, there might be stuff that the kid doesn't want to come to you with, you know, so this might be like a good outlet if you only have the one child, you know, like if there's no siblings or other similarly aged relatives where the child might be able to say, you know, I can't talk to my parents about this, but I can talk to X about it. You know, maybe this kind of doll or toy can come in and fill that little gap for limited situations. But no, like if you have alternatives, like in your case, you know, in our cases, we have a sizable family where there's options. No, just, you know, good love, good parenting. and openness, I think, can offset anything that toy could fill. But in terms of the M3GAN, yeah, to your point, like I felt that scene too. So, when it started going bad, I was like, this shit is hysterical, because you could see why it's going bad.
Right.
Especially the scene that Brandon alluded to with the coaster.
Yeah, and I got to go back to that scene because listen, that was the perfect like setup for a later joke, which was absolutely amazing, because one of the first things that happens when this new girl is now living in this new home with her aunt, and it's this thing with the coaster, right? So she keeps like, hey, what was the girl's name? I can't remember the girl's name for
Katie.
The life of me. She's like, Katie, use a coaster. You're going to mark this. And then, at first it was cute because when M3GAN came on board, she's like, oh, you should really use a coaster. And this and that. And why? Because it creates a ring. She goes, oh, condensation. It was like, oh, there's a learning opportunity to it. Mm-hmm. And then we get to this scene later on when, like, as Katie is going through things and being, disturbed and upset and getting angry with her aunt. And then there's this beautiful, hilarious scene where Katie does not put the cup on the coaster, and M3GAN just looks at the aunt and like, bitch, I wish you would say something right now.
I will say something. Fucking murder you.
Yeah, this is not the moment to tell her about the goddamn coaster. Dude,
yeah, I think we told it to each other at the same time. We're like, say something. Say something.
Say something about the goddamn coaster right now. She's not the time. Dude, there was so many scenes like that where it was just like she would just look at the aunt like there was a couple of times where the M3GAN would try to not M3GAN, the aunt would try to shut off M3GAN, and M3GAN be like, well, no, let's talk about it since you want to talk about it. Like,
look at the pen. I don't want to look at the pen.
Oh my God. So I mean, listen, we're laughing to these things, and there was a bunch of things. B, tell me some of the things that made you laugh in this movie, because there's a parts of this movie that made me feel like it was a comedy, but yeah, man.
I honestly, I have to say that the coaster one made me die, and it was like,
it was so subtle.
It was so subtle. Like, you just felt it. Like, go ahead, say something. Tell her to put on the coaster. I will murder you. like that one was my favorite.
Yeah,
but I think like it's just the way we worked up to that. Just with the more M3GAN killed, the more the aunt knew it. The Katie was depressed, and it was just like the aunt was like, I can't even say anything to this doll because she's gonna mess me up. Like she knew it. And it was just like, and you said it too, it was like every time M3GAN started to get real, the aunt would be like, here's the pen, like watch the pen, and shut her off. And there was that one time where she shut off and the aunt walked away, she said, she just looked back up. I was like, oh shit, M3GAN's not playing no more.
No. Oh man, Al, how about you, man? Anything that made you like really laugh with the coasters and all the side eyes?
The coaster one was because, like I said, I swear I heard her say something.
She felt that in the room.
I know she didn't physically say something. I heard it though.
Yeah. I've gotten those looks from my wife, kid. Don't worry. Really? Right now?
But I think with the other scene was when like B was saying, was when the aunt tells M3GAN to shut down, and she goes, and you said you referenced it. She goes, no, really, let's talk about this. And then she just like outlines why she wasn't shutting down. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, dude.
That's when I would have grabbed the girl and been like, all right, we're just leaving. M3GAN, be right back.
Yeah. There's a couple more too, man. Where
I'm telling you to shut off, and you telling me no.
How about when the two of them were like holding each other's hair and fighting in the living room, and M3GAN goes to Katie, she's like, "Go to your room." I was like, "Oh, okay, damn."
So you don't want to see
that
this
before, Katie. You don't want to see this. No. Oh man. All right. So then now I got these two last questions for you fellas now.
Yeah.
And let's go with the first one, which is the obvious one. We hearing is a M3GAN 2. Are you in for a M3GAN 2, Al?
Oh, hell yeah.
M3GAN 2?
Yeah.
And what do you think? What can they do? They destroyed M3GAN.
No, but see, that's the thing. They destroyed M3GAN, but I watched them do something like, because remember, she made it seem like the guy killed the boss after being caught having leaked secrets. So I could see a good premise being that all the programming is still on the server or in some database, and they use that to make another one, not knowing that this was M3GAN.
Gotcha.
And then that's the next one, and then they actually start selling them.
Oof.
Yeah. And now
crazy.
It's another girl who actually bought a M3GAN, and then the M3GAN starts to bug out. Like, so I could see that being the sequel.
And how about you, B? I mean, we got left off with 2 cliffhangers. One, we did have that guy who did download the secrets. We don't know what he did with it. He could have sent it to another company. Even though M3GAN said to pretend that you were going to send it to another company, he may have. That's one option. 2, M3GAN did go back into the house system.
Yeah. I think I saw that, but I think when we went back to the toy company, when they had her hung up, she was hooked into the server and she was controlling things.
Yeah.
So I think
3 different ways to get M3GAN.
Yeah, I think she was in the server, and like the same thing. They're gonna make some kind of new doll, and that's gonna be uploaded with M3GAN, and that's where we go from there. A new kid.
Gotcha, man.
But
So
do you
listen,
bring back the aunt and the daughter? Because I think they're just as much of the movie as M3GAN is herself.
I don't know. I want to see a new family.
Right, there's a part of me that like, do we want to make them the Sidney Prescott of the movie, right? Like, like, do we want that? Like, nah. I think we're better off going to another family. But again, they were the heart and soul of this movie. And in the fact that they made that relationship, I can see them playing a role in the movie where they come in to help out in the middle of the movie or at the end, possibly. But I honestly, I think like B just said, I would rather see a brand new family and a brand new situation to see what's going on out there. Yeah. So last question I have now, and this is the little internet battle going on right now, which isn't a big battle, but is M3GAN a horror movie, Brandon?
I don't think so. You know,
right?
it's like in that weird stretch of movies that aren't horror, but they have concepts of horror.
Right.
You know, like that's kind of like Blumhouse does that. They've been doing that since like 2009. You know, they've made movies like that where they're not horror movies, but they have concepts that are strange and such. And so I feel like it could fit in that category, but not horror.
Yeah. Al, you and the wife, man, are huge horror fans.
Yeah.
Do you consider this horror?
No. I mean, that's why I say I would have liked to have seen the R-rated version of some of these scenes, because they probably could have made it a horror movie.
Yeah.
But the way it played out, they took away the horror. To your point, I took it more as a thriller, maybe a high drama, but nothing that made it like you said, like I said, there's nothing scary.
Yeah.
Like I never once was like, don't turn that corner. Like, no.
Yeah, no.
You know, so no.
Yeah. You like more side eye. Yeah, for me, I don't want to describe it as horror because again, it was until the last last 45 minutes of the movie was where it was like horror kind of thing. Even when she killed the neighbor, it was more like just like I'm just gonna kill her because she's fucking annoying, you know.
Yeah.
She's gonna
like Happy Death Day, right? Like
it
wasn't a horror movie.
Yeah,
is that Blumhouse also Happy Death Day? Right? Yeah, Blumhouse, man. Happy Death Day, Paradise Island. Oh, of course, The Invisible Man. Yeah. Jesus, that was one of our top movies 2 years ago, right? 2-3 years ago. Jesus, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, right after the pandemic. Yeah,
right. That was like one of the first movies that we saw. But yeah, man, no, spectacular. It was a good movie, man. Again, I don't want to tell you guys it's a great movie, but it was a really good movie and an entertaining time in the theaters, man. So if you guys have not seen it and you just listened to the whole spoiler section, maybe you want to check it out again. I'm probably going to see it one more time when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray or one of the streaming things. So I'll check it out then. But it's definitely something worth the watch, and I'm looking forward to a part 2 as well, man. So listen, that is going to be us for this weekend or this week. Next week's podcast. Listen, I know last year you guys enjoyed when we talked about Game of Thrones and what was it called again? I always messed it up.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon, not dragons. It was a House of the Dragon. And so this week, if you guys are video game fans, or even if you're not video game fans, The Last of Us was an incredible video game and a great story. And they're adapting it to HBO. And you know HBO, how they do. They take their time, they put money into it, they get good actors, they get good story writers. I'm looking forward to this. I think Brandon mentioned earlier that this thing got 100% from Rotten Tomatoes right now. Yeah. I'm sure it'll go down to like 99, 98, but that's still really high. So we're going to start talking about The Last of Us because, again, we do majority speak about movies and movie news. So if those things come up, we'll definitely talk about it. But we're also going to talk about the popular stuff that everyone's talking about to give our take on it as well. So if you like The Last of Us, or if you're interested in just movies, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on the podcast, listen to us by hitting the plus symbol also. That way, every week our podcast comes up to you guys and you hear what we say about that week's episode or the movie that just came out. So again, this week, not too many good movies. I know there's a good movie called House Party that we may check out, may not check out. But if we do talk about it or any movie news comes out, especially we're waiting for James Gunn to let us know what's coming out for DC soon. So we're waiting on that as well. So we'll talk about all those things on the next podcast. Saying goodnight is my brother B.
Adios, everybody.
We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
And myself, Hob, saying goodnight, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Until next time.